So we're going to do the YMCA submaximal cycle ergometer test, and the purpose of this is to inexpensively estimate VO2 max, and it also allows for mass testing, and you can generally do it for a shorter duration of time. And if multi-stage, you can access multiple heart rates and blood pressure responses. And the reasons for stopping a submaximal test for a parent, healthy individual is if the individual reaches for 2 consecutive stages a heart rate above 110 beats per minute and stays steady state for those 2 stages, which is 6 beats per minute. And following his heart rate will reach greater than 85% of their age predicted max heart rate. Also, if the client fails to conform to the testing protocol. And the general indications for stopping the test are onset of like chest pain or angina, a significant drop of blood pressure, more than 20 millimeters of mercury of systolic blood pressure. An excess rise in blood pressure, so if the systolic is above 260 or the diastolic is below or greater than 115, or signs of perfusion, lightheadedness or clammy skin, or failure for the heart rate to increase with increased exercise intensity, noticeable change in heart rhythm, or the subject's request to stop. Also, for physical and verbal manifestations of severe fatigue.
Alright, so this is for proper setup of the cycle, so we want to make sure that the seat is matched up with where their hip is at, and then you can go ahead and get on. And when you're changing the seat, you want to make sure this is screwed in nice. And then with their knees, you want to make sure they're extended, that there's a slight flex of the knee. And then with their arms, you want them to be not sliding to the side, but up, kind of towards heart level.
Okay, before you start the YMCA submax test, there's some preliminary things that you need to do. First, you need to get your client's age, gender, weight in both pounds and kilograms. And then you need to predict their heart rate max based off the age. All you need to do for that is take 220 and subtract their age, and that will give you their age predicted heart rate max in beats per minute. The reason why you need that is to find out their what 85% of their heart rate max is, just in case you need to terminate the test at that point. Also at this time you need to find out your client's resting heart rate and resting blood pressure. That's just preliminary precautions to let you know whether or not this client should be or should not be doing the test at this time. We have Sarah here, we have her hooked up on a heart rate monitor, therefore we don't have to do it the old-fashioned way by taking their heart rate based off of their radial artery. So instead she's got a device on her wrist. She can tell us at any time what her resting heart rate is. So Rachel, what's your resting heart rate?
I'm Sarah.
Sorry, Sarah.
It's 99.
99? Okay, so we're going to have a recorder off to the side who's going to record any and all values taken during this test. So Dylan's going to go ahead and write those numbers down for us, and I'm going to go ahead and take Rachel's blood pressure. The 2 things, Sarah's blood pressure, the 2 things that you need is a blood pressure cuff and a aneroid sphygmomanometer and a stethoscope. I'm really sorry.
It's alright. Dr. Phone's plus Rachel's scared.
She's gonna enjoy it.
Okay, so you're going to put the blood pressure cuff around the arm and make sure the mark that says artery mark is over the brachial artery. Now Sarah has a long sleeve shirt on. That's okay. I just need to roll it up to see her brachial artery and make sure that line is nice and lined up. From here I'm going to turn the gauge towards me so I can see the values. And I am going to put the stethoscope right over her brachial artery. And throughout the test, I'm going to support her arm by putting it underneath my armpit and holding on to the stethoscope, which goes right over, once again, that brachial artery. It should be blue and big so you can see it. From here, I'm just going to inflate the cuff. And listen for a lub dub sound. The highest one, or when you first start hearing the noise, that's going to be your systolic blood pressure, and when you stop, that'll be your diastolic blood pressure. And Dylan, I got about 112 over 82 millimeters. And from here, I'm just going to make sure that blood pressure cuff is completely deflated, and we're just going to leave it on our arm for the testing. So now what we're going to have Sarah do is warm up for about 5 minutes without any resistance before we start the test. That's just to make sure we have proper blood flow going through the legs before we start off with the resistance. Okay, so before you start the test, you have to assign roles. You'll have one person that's their sole job to take blood pressure during the designated time. Another person will ask the patient their RPE based off the Bohr's rate of perceived exertion chart. You'll have another person that will be recording. Like I said before, all values and all data shouted out, but he'll also be keeping track of time to let us know when it's time to move up to the next stage. We'll also have one person setting the resistance at each stage. And we are ready to get started. So for the first stage, you need to first set the workload at 150 kilograms per meters per minute, which means we need our client to consistently cycle at 50 revolutions per minute, and the bike set at 6 meters per revolution. So all we need is our person to turn up the resistance 50. I don't think it's that hard.
That's not 50, that's a 32.
And
Oh,
there you
darn.
go. Okay, so we have Rachel setting the resistance to 0.5, and Dylan's going to go ahead and start the time for us.
I'll tell you when we're at 45 seconds so you can get ready.
And then every minute we will take heart rate, but at each stage we'll take the blood pressure.
Right.
What's your
Minute.
121.
121 deal? What's your
for
heart
2
rate?
consecutive. All right, what's the heart rate?
125.
125, sir.
So we can go on to the second stage, right?
I gotta take the blood pressure. $115 over 78. And what was her heart rate at this stage?
125.
120. So based off of her resting heart rate, we're going to look at a chart and decide on that flow chart what her new resistance will be. And since her heart rate is over 100, her next resistance will only be 1 kilogram, set at a workload of 300 kilograms meters per minute. So Rachel, go ahead and turn that up for us.
What's your heart rate?
143.
143, sir.
Good work.
Thank you, sir. What's your heart rate now?
150.
150.
Looks like we're still gonna go with this resistance.
So get the RP.
120 over 82 is her blood pressure.
I'm ready for
Do your
I don't know.
Is the heart rate within 6 beats?
7.
7? Okay.
Way to go, Sarah.
Thanks. I tried really hard.
So for
ruined the food.
each stage, you're going to measure the heart rate and blood pressure and RPE at 2 minutes, just in case Sarah does hit steady state. But this time she didn't, she's 7 beats, and it needs to be within 6 beats per minute, as Dylan stated earlier. So we'll go another minute in this stage, make sure we reach that steady state, and then move on to the next stage. 5 seconds.
Heart rate,
156.
156.
You've done it.
We did it.
Did you get the RPE for this state?
9.
9.
Might be adjusting it for a second later list.
Alright, so we have started Sarah's cool now, and she's just going to pedal for a couple more minutes and just allow blood to keep flowing to prevent any damage to her muscles, and allow her heart rate to kind of drop slowly back down.
Go ahead.
So to find our VO2, we first drew our line where our max heart rate was, which was 199. Then we looked at our 2 steady state heart rates from each stage and found the average between them. So, and then based on that, we plotted it based where that was at the workload. So our first was at 123 at a workload of 150, and our second was at 153 with a workload of 300. Then we went and drew the line through our 2 points up to meet and intersect with our max heart rate. From there, we drew the line down to find our VO2, which was 1.6.